in the neglected village of Oak Ridge, life for Tina was a relentless grind. At just 22 years old, she had become the backbone of her broken family. Her mother had passed away 5 years ago, and the absence had turned her father, Mr. Bernard, into a drunken shadow of the man he once was. Every day, from dawn until dusk, Tina toiled in their small, dilapidated house, cooking, cleaning, and trying to keep peace with her cruel stepmother, Mrs. Linda. One evening, as Tina washed the dishes, she let out a sigh. "I wish I could escape this place," she murmured to herself, tears mixing with the soapy water. "I want to become a nurse," she added silently, but the words echoed back as mocked dreams. The neighbors often whispered, casting pity or judgment her way, but no one offered help. They knew the shadows that lingered in the corners of the Bernard household. The walls of Tina's home felt like a cage, each creak of the floorboards a reminder of her struggles. Every dinner was a reminder of her place in the family, a servant rather than a daughter. "You call this food? It's barely fit for pigs." Bernard's slurred words struck Tina like a knife. Mrs. Linda sneered, "You should learn to cook better or find a husband to do it for you." Behind the surface of her forced smiles, Tina was unraveling, the weight of her dreams feeling heavier than ever before. "Maybe I should stop dreaming," she whispered to herself one night as she lay in bed, staring at the cracked ceiling. "What do I have to hope for?" She closed her eyes tightly and imagined the life she wanted, a life spent caring for others, filled not with fear, but with purpose. But that life felt far away, trapped behind the bars of her reality. One sunny morning, a new face appeared on the farm. Frederick, a humble man from the city, had come to work for Bernard. Dressed in faded clothes, he had a warm smile that contrasted with the gloom of the farm. As he bent down to pick up hay, Tina caught his eye. "Hi, I'm Tina," she said softly, not quite believing someone would be kind to her. "Frederick, nice to meet you," he replied, his voice calm and gentle. Tina felt something stir within her, a flicker of hope.
Hello, dear viewer. Welcome to Echoes of Chivin. Before we dive into today's story, we'd love for you to subscribe to our channel or follow our page, like this video, turn on your notification bell so you never miss an update. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the story.
Over the next few weeks, Frederick worked tirelessly but remained quiet. Yet, he was observant, noticing how the weight of the world rested heavily on Tina's shoulders. Whenever their eyes met, there was a silent understanding. And in those brief moments, Tina felt less alone. As weeks turned into months, Frederick continued to work without pay. His patience wore thin as he tried to remind Bernard of his debts. "Mr. Bernard, it's been 3 months. Kindly pay me for my work," he said one afternoon, urgency lacing his tone. Bernard scoffed. "You want your money? What have you done for me? You're worthless." The words hung in the air, like a dark cloud. Frederick stood tall, his resolve unwavering. "I may not be getting paid, but I'm not worthless." He turned to look at Tina, whose eyes reflected admiration and sympathy. "I just want the respect I deserve, and perhaps a chance to help those in need." Things took a dark turn when Bernard, fueled by alcohol, made an impulsive offer to Frederick. "I can't pay you money, but I'd be willing to let you have Tina instead," he said with a sneer. The room fell silent as Bernard's words hung heavy in the air. Tina's heart sank, betrayal mingling with despair. She felt her world collapsing around her. "You can't do this," she whispered, panic rising in her chest. Frederick's eyes widened in shock. "That's a disgusting thing to say," he replied, his fists clenched at his sides. "Tina is not for sale." He turned to her, seeking her gaze. "You deserve better than to be treated like a bargaining chip." The pain in Tina's heart was palpable, and she felt a mix of gratitude and confusion. "What did I ever do to deserve this?" she asked, tears streaming down her face as she glanced between the two men. With a determination born from desperation, Tina made a choice. "I'll go with you, Frederick," she declared, her voice firm as she wiped her tears. "Anything is better than staying here." Frederick nodded, a mix of relief and admiration filling him. "Are you sure, Tina?" he asked gently, concern for her safety visible in his eyes. "I am. Let's leave this terrible place together," she replied, resolute. Their journey began with a bus ride to the city that was both thrilling and terrifying. As the bus rattled down the road, Tina gazed out the window, watching her old life fade away. "Am I really free now?" she murmured to herself, her heart a flutter of hope and fear. Frederick noticed her gaze and assured her, "You're not alone anymore. I'll take care of you." Frederick's apartment was modest, but felt like a sanctuary to Tina. She stepped inside, taking in the warmth of the small space. "This is home?" she asked, looking around in disbelief. Frederick smiled. "For now, it's our safe place. You can be yourself here." Tina felt a mix of gratitude and wonder. "It's beautiful," she said softly, though the walls were bare. She began to decorate their small living space with her hopes and dreams rather than just physical items. With her heart racing, she whispered a prayer of thanks to the universe for this fresh start. "I'll cook for us," she said eagerly, wishing to contribute. In the following days, Tina found solace in the warmth of their new home. With each meal she prepared for Frederick, her laughter started to bloom like flowers in spring. "This is delicious, Tina," Frederick exclaimed one evening, savoring her cooking. She blushed at the compliment, feeling pride stir within her. "I didn't know I could feel this happy," she admitted, realizing that joy had been missing from her life for far too long. They often shared stories over dinner, and slowly, walls of fear began to crumble. "What's your dream, Frederick?" Tina asked one night, her curiosity piqued. He smiled softly, "To build homes for those in need." "What about you?" Her eyes sparkled as she replied, "To become a nurse and offer care to those who are suffering. I want to make a difference." One bright morning, Tina ventured out into the lively city for the first time. The bustling market greeted her with vibrant colors, sounds of laughter, and the smells of delicious food. She wandered through the stalls, taking in the cheerful chaos, her heart racing with excitement. Suddenly, she stumbled across a small pharmacy, and her heart swelled with hope. "Maybe I can study here," she thought, imagining herself in a crisp white uniform, helping others. With every step, the weight of her past began to lift. After a few weeks, Frederick invited Tina to meet his boss, Mrs. Wellington. "She's a prominent figure in the city, and she might help you," he explained one evening. Tina felt a swell of nerves, but determinedly agreed. When she met Mrs. Wellington, the woman was gracious yet firm. "So, you want to be a nurse?" she asked, eyebrow raised. "Yes, ma'am," Tina replied, anxiety tinging her voice. "I want to help people like I never could at home." Mrs. Wellington studied her, then said with a nod, "You can work as a kitchen assistant at my restaurant. It could help you save for nursing school." Tina's heart raced with gratitude. "Thank you so much. I won't let you down," she promised, feeling the spark of a new beginning ignite within her. Tina excelled in her new job, putting her heart into each task. Every morning, she woke up early to prepare for the day ahead, making sure everything was perfect for Mrs. Wellington's bustling restaurant. "You're doing an amazing job, Tina," Mrs. Wellington commended her one afternoon. "I might have a scholarship opportunity for you to consider." Filled with hope, Tina listened eagerly. "Really? I would love that." Tina's excitement bubbled over. She began to believe that a brighter future was within her reach. "I might actually be able to study nursing," she thought, her heart racing at the idea. That evening after work, she rushed home to tell Frederick the news. "Guess what?" she exclaimed, her eyes gleaming with excitement. Mrs. Wellington might offer me a chance to study nursing. Frederick beamed at her, pride washing over him. You deserve it, Tina. You're going to be an amazing nurse, he encouraged, casting away all her doubts. Life took a complicated turn when Derek, one of Mrs. Wellington's shareholders, started visiting the restaurant frequently. He initially ignored Tina, but soon he approached her one afternoon, flashing a confident smile. Hey, Tina, he said smoothly. I've been noticing you. Would you like to join me for dinner sometime? Tina felt her stomach twist. No, thank you, she replied politely, her instincts alerting her to his intentions. Derek's smile faded. You could have a much better life if you just said yes. I can offer you anything you want, he insisted. I'm not interested, Tina replied firmly. I'm focused on my dreams, not distractions. Derek frowned but masked his frustration with a too-good-to-be-true smile. Well, I hope you remember that offer, he said, his voice dripping with charm but a hint of menace lingering beneath. Despite Derek's charming demeanor, Tina felt something off. The next day, as she prepared the meal for the entire staff, Derek visited again. Come on, Tina, just one date. You'll see how great I am, he pleaded, leaning against the kitchen counter, invading her space. Tina squared her shoulders, determination filling her eyes. I said no, Derek. I have dreams, and I will not let anyone, especially not you, disrupt them. With that, she continued her work, leaving him stunned. Behind her, her coworkers looked at her with a mixture of surprise and admiration. They had seen her stand tall against the arrogant man. Derek's face darkened. You'll regret this, Tina, he warned cryptically. But Tina simply continued cooking, knowing she had made the right choice. For the first time, she felt empowered and proud of her resolve. Tina's refusal to date Derek didn't come without its challenges. Mrs. Wellington began to show subtle signs of disapproval whenever Tina was around. You should think about what Derek could do for your future. A connection with him could open many doors, she suggested one afternoon when they were discussing. I appreciate your advice, Mrs. Wellington, but I want to build my future on hard work. Tina replied calmly. Mrs. Wellington sighed, her patience wearing thin. Just be careful, Tina. Tina felt a pang of guilt, but reminded herself of what mattered. She wanted to chart her own path, not one dictated by wealth or influence. I'll be okay. I promise, she said firmly, feeling the weight of expectations hovering over her, but refusing to bend. Frederick sensed the tension, but didn't fully understand the dynamics at play. You seem stressed lately, he commented one evening as they settled on the couch for a quiet night. Tina looked down, brushing her hands together nervously. It's nothing really. Just work stuff, she said, forcing a smile. Is it Derek? He asked, concern etching his brow. I've seen him hanging around a bit too much. Tina hesitated, unsure of how to express herself without worrying Frederick. He's persistent, but I can handle him. I just want to focus on my studies, she assured him, though inside, her heart raced with anxiety. Frederick nodded slowly, but she could see that he wasn't fully convinced. Just remember, you're not alone. I'm here for you, he said before wrapping an arm around her shoulders. The warmth of Frederick's support grounded her, and she inhaled deeply, hoping to keep her worries at bay. One rainy evening, Frederick finally decided to open up at last. As they watched the raindrops dance on the window, he turned to Tina with a serious expression. I need to tell you something important, he said slowly. I'm not just some guy working a low-paying job. I'm also Mrs. Wellington's son, her first son. I'm the CEO of a construction company. Tina gasped, her heart pounding wildly in disbelief. You're serious? She stammered, shock coursing through her veins. Frederick nodded, his sincerity shining through. I didn't want to tell you because I wanted to see if you'd love me for who I am, not what my family has. Confusion filled Tina's mind, and she couldn't help but feel hurt. You've been hiding this? Why? She questioned, her feelings surging within. I thought we were building something real. Frederick took a deep breath, his eyes searching hers. I didn't want you to think of me as just a wealthy guy. I wanted you to see my heart. Tina felt torn as emotions swirled within her. It was overwhelming to learn Frederick's true identity after building their relationship on honesty. You should have told me, Frederick. It changes everything, she said quietly, her heart heavy with mixed emotions. Frederick reached for her hand, his expression earnest. No, Tina, my feelings for you are real. I hid my identity because I wanted to see if you would love me for me, not my status. The vulnerability in his voice broke her heart a little more as she absorbed his words. But it does change things, she whispered. Does it matter to you? Your dreams mean more than anything else. His gaze locked onto hers. Tina hesitated, feeling the walls she had built around her heart begin to crack. I believe you, she whispered, the warmth of his sincerity starting to melt away her doubts. News of their relationship spread around the Wellington household, and Mrs. Wellington's reaction was fierce. The very next day, she summoned Frederick into her lavish office at the company. I heard about you and that girl from the restaurant. She started, tension thickening the air. How can you possibly think of marrying someone like her? She's a nobody. Frederick's loyalty hardened, feeling the rush of anger surge within him. Mom, stay out of my personal life. Tina is, he paused, searching for the right words. She's someone who makes me happy, and I care about her deeply. Passion is not enough to build a future. You have a legacy to protect, she warned, her voice cold and unforgiving. She'll bring you nothing but shame. Frederick's heart ached at his mother's words. I will not choose between love and family, he declared firmly before storming out, his resolve strengthening for Tina. Later that evening, Frederick couldn't shake the heaviness of his mother's words. He paced his apartment when Tina arrived, her face reflecting concern. You look troubled. What happened? She asked. Frederick stopped and took her hands in his. My mom found out about us, and she's not happy at all, he confessed, sadness creeping into his voice. Tina's heart sank, feeling the weight of the situation. What are we going to do? She thinks I'm unworthy of you, she said, a tear escaping her eye. Frederick shook his head. That doesn't matter. You are everything to me, and I am willing to fight for us. We'll face her together, Tina replied, determination igniting within her. I won't let her influence our future. Frederick smiled, and with renewed strength, they faced the challenges ahead, standing tall together, ready to confront whatever lay ahead. With Frederick's encouragement, Tina returned to her job, determined to work hard. She found herself approaching Mrs. Wellington one morning. I appreciate the opportunity you've given me, but I want to pursue nursing school. Can you help me? Mrs. Wellington looked surprised. Are you sure? She asked after a moment of contemplation. It's not going to be easy. I'm sure. This is my path, and I need to follow it, Tina replied boldly. After a moment of silence, Mrs. Wellington nodded. Very well. If you're willing to work hard, I'll help you with the costs. Overjoyed, Tina rushed home to share the news with Frederick, who embraced her warmly. You're going to be an amazing nurse, Tina. I can already see how far you've come. This is just the beginning, he encouraged, and together they dreamed of a bright future filled with love, ambition, and purpose. Tina enrolled in nursing school, her heart filled with excitement and trepidation. The first few weeks were overwhelming as she juggled classes and work. This is so much harder than I thought, she confessed to Frederick one evening, her forehead creased with worry. You can do it, Tina. Remember, you've overcome so much already. Just take it one day at a time. He reassured her, wrapping his arm around her shoulders. Tina spent late nights studying, poring over textbooks in the faint glimmer of a lamp. A few days later, she formed a study group with classmates, and it felt good to find support. "Let's help each other," her friend Amy suggested one afternoon, and they formed friendships that lightened the intensity of their workload. Through grueling hours, she also began mentoring a young orphan girl named Lily in the community. "Why do you want to be a nurse?" Lily asked one day, her big eyes full of curiosity. "Because nurses help people, and I want to be a part of that," Tina replied, joy blooming in her heart as she realized her dreams were slowly becoming a reality. Just when things seemed to be improving, Derek returned with a newfound bitterness. Now desperate, he confronted Tina at the restaurant during a busy shift, running away with the CEO. "Huh? You think that makes you better?" he sneered, eyes dark with anger. Tina stayed calm. "I'm not interested in what you're selling, Derek. Just leave me alone," she said firmly, brushing past him. A few months later, with nursing school well underway, Frederick surprised Tina with a candlelit dinner at their apartment. The warmth of the lights flickered around them, creating a magical atmosphere. "Tina, there's something I want to ask you," he said softly, reaching into his pocket. Her heart raced as he pulled out a small velvet box, her breath catching in her throat. "I've watched you grow and blossom. You inspire me every day, and I can't imagine my life without you. Will you marry me?" he asked, opening the box to reveal a shimmering ring. Tina's eyes filled with tears as she stared at the ring, the love shining from his eyes, making her heart swell. "Yes, Frederick." "Yes," she exclaimed, throwing her arms around him in pure joy. "I didn't think this day would come so soon. I knew from the start you'd be my forever," he replied, happiness lighting his face. They embraced, standing together in the glow of love, a future filled with promise ahead of them. The day of their wedding arrived, and the small ceremony was filled with love and laughter. They exchanged vows in a beautiful park surrounded by friends and familiar faces. Tina wore a simple but elegant white dress, her smile radiant as she took Frederick's hands. "Through every storm, I choose you," Frederick promised, his voice steady and heartfelt. "And I will always stand by your side." Tears streamed down Tina's cheeks as she replied, "And I choose you, Frederick, now and forever." As they kissed, a cheer erupted from their close friends, celebrating their love and commitment. Even Mrs. Wellington attended, albeit with a reluctant smile. It was a day of new beginnings and renewed bonds, a chance to start fresh and leave shadows behind. As they shared their first dance, Tina whispered to Frederick, "I'm so thankful to have found you. I never imagined life could be this beautiful." He held her close, spinning her gently. "Every moment of struggle was worth it to get here," he said, and they danced into a future filled with hope and joy. After a brief honeymoon, Frederick unveiled a surprise for Tina. As they approached a grand yet charming house, Tina's eyes widened in disbelief. "This is for us," she gasped, emotion flooding her voice. Frederick nodded, pride radiating from him. "I wanted to build a home, a real home. It's a promise of the future we're going to create together." Tears of joy filled Tina's eyes as she stepped onto the porch, feeling warmth and excitement. "I can't believe this," she breathed, her fingers tracing the beautiful woodwork. "It's perfect, Frederick." He pulled her into an embrace and whispered, "It's more than just a house. It's a place for our dreams to grow, where we can fill it with love." Filled with gratitude, Tina looked up at Frederick, her heart swelling with love. "I'm so excited for every moment we will make here," she said, a new chapter of their lives about to unfold. Just a few months later, Tina discovered she was pregnant, a mix of joy and nervousness overwhelming her. "Frederick, I have something to tell you, she exclaimed one evening, clutching a small box. Frederick's eyes widened. What is it? You look like you've seen a ghost. Tina smiled widely as she opened the box, revealing a tiny pair of baby shoes. His face lit up with surprise and joy. Are you serious? We're having a baby? He asked, realization dawning upon him. Yes. I can hardly believe it. Tears of happiness cascaded down her cheeks, and Frederick scooped her up, spinning her around in excitement. This is the best news I could ever imagine. As the baby bump grew, Tina felt compelled to return to Oakridge, her past calling out to her for closure. Will you come with me? She asked Frederick, a touch of apprehension in her voice. Absolutely, he replied, taking her hand firmly. Together, they arrived in the village, nostalgia washing over Tina as they walked down familiar streets. Nobody knows what you've been through here. You're not that girl anymore, Frederick encouraged softly. You're stronger. They visited the old house, memories flooding back, and Tina felt a surge of courage. I want to forgive them, she said abruptly, surprising herself. I can't carry this burden anymore. Frederick nodded, admiration shining in his eyes. If that's what you need, I'll be right here. When they found her father at the village pub, Tina took a deep breath as she approached. Dad, can we talk? She asked. The old man looked startled as he recognized her. Tina, what are you doing here? After reconciling with her father, who expressed his sorrow for the pain he had caused, Tina felt free. I've changed, Dad. I want to help others like you, she said sincerely. With the acknowledgement of their past, she donated to the village clinic and school, establishing a small scholarship fund for young girls interested in nursing. You're a remarkable person, Tina, Frederick said, pride brimming in his voice. Years passed, and as Tina graduated as a registered nurse, a sense of fulfillment warmed her heart. I did it, she exclaimed, tears of joy filling her eyes as she donned her cap and gown. I'm finally a nurse. Frederick stood in the crowd, beaming with pride. As they hugged after the ceremony, she whispered, Thank you for believing in me. Always, he said softly. Later, sitting by her journal, Tina reflected on her journey, the pain, struggles, joy, and love that had shaped her life. The pain built my strength. The love gave me peace, she wrote with a smile. Their home was filled with the laughter of their child, the warmth of family, and dreams blooming like flowers in spring. As the sun set behind the horizon, they knew that every shadow had led them to the brightest sunshine. The journey from pain to peace was not just about overcoming struggle. It was about finding love, purpose, and the courage to embrace one's past while building a future filled with hope. With each chapter, Tina and Frederick discovered that true happiness shines brightest when shared with those we love. Thank you for watching this story. Kindly share your thoughts in the comments section. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up and share it with your loved ones. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Now, if you were in Tina's position, what would you have done? Let me know in the comments. Until I bring another story your way. Bye.